now. Um, all right, so so I'll just open it up that this is our open house for the 2024 Shanan Homeschool Co-op, our virtual component of it. Um, and so we're going to be working on it sooner this year, and hopefully that will help us not to rush so much going towards the end. So I want to also open it up to Ebony and Naomi if you wanted to make any beginning remarks.
Yeah, shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Shalom. On the open house. Please feel free to use the chat, as Teresa's explaining things. We will be in the chat, so if you have a question right away, go ahead. And also use the raise hand feature. We want to answer all your questions and make sure everyone knows what they're getting into. And thank you for coming.
I'm on mute. That's why. Naomi, I was saying you have the floor if you want to make any
Sorry,
remarks.
couldn't hear you. Shalom, everyone. I'm so happy to be here again this year. I'm happy that y'all have blessed us all to be here. I was with Shanan last year, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. The Almighty has blessed Tirsa. I tell her all the time with a mind, a beautiful mind, and it's a blessed mind to come up with such a uh, program that she has come up with. So I'm excited for this year, um, for the children, for to see what everyone comes up with. So I'm excited, and I hope you all get excited too, because um, it's going to be amazing. Yah is in the midst, so I know it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And to make sure that we honor everyone, Hannah had a major role in the beginning of our virtual experience. I think well, we go back real far, and I think we were doing this 2015. The character quality presentations come from Hannah's idea. Um, and the project everything comes from her, and if you look at the resources on our website, I definitely give her the due on that. um but we started on Google Meet, right? Google Hangouts, now it's Google Meet, and we would have our children kind of present towards each other. um so if you want to say anything, Hannah, I think your husband is right next to you. Hamani, if you both want to say anything.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah, man, that was so long ago, but we needed it. We didn't have, a lot of options, and it was such a blessing to be able to have each other and to work together and, give our kids an opportunity. So I'm excited that we're doing it now, and my little ones that weren't around then get to do it all over again, and we have more friends to join us. So I love that you ran with it, because I mean, obviously we did it together, but I didn't do anything else with it. And you are, sharing it with so many more people. So I love that.
Yes. And I also want to make sure that we shout out Ashara Cicely Jackson. We're gonna probably have to promote her to being like our education consultant person. Um Oh, Rihanna's coming on. She'll also get promoted too. Everybody has a role. Everybody could be the principal, consultants, coordinators. We need as many minds and ideas as possible. And Rhiannon doesn't hear any of this. She just got her mic on. Hey Rhiannon, I was shouting you out, but I was saying that we have educators, people who literally studied this, went to school, taught in classrooms, and I want to make sure that we um, we call you out, and Cicely, she revamped our character quality packet. We had like these resources here, resources there. You got to figure it out and put it together. And she came up with this wonderful plan and put it together. So I want to give you an opportunity if you want to make any beginning remarks at all, Ashara.
I didn't. I just love listening to you guys, but thank you so much. I just enjoy it. It's not even work. I literally enjoy this. So thank you so much for having me here. I cannot wait for the character quality presentations again. It was my favorite part. So thank you so much, Hannah, for putting that all together and getting it started. And I'm so glad we're continuing with that. It's my favorite parts. So thank you guys.
And also, the character quality doesn't have to be only with this co-op, smaller groups within groups, families coming together and kind of taking it and branching it out from there. It's all welcome because we want to encourage good character in our children. So so far I see mostly everyone has been with us before. And so I will go ahead and go through the presentation, and we're going to be recording this. So, anyone who is seeing this later can okay, so let's see if I can do this. So everyone, is there anything blotted out in my screen? Can you see the whole screen?
Yes, everything looks fine on my end.
Good. Okay, good. All right. So this is our open house.
Yeah.
And in our picture, over here is one of our watercolor projects that Hannah did with the children. I don't know which one her children this is. But we literally are looking to create a community of families. So, husbands, wives, children, mothers, fathers, children, coming together to provide educational experiences for our children. We are looking for diversity as well. And so we want to welcome everyone here to our open house, okay? So what are we? What do we do? We are a Messianic Hebrew homeschool co-op. And so we are using a scripture, Deuteronomy 6, verse 7, which we'll state later, as our flagship verse, okay? So we provide Torah-based activities, character development training, cross-curricular lessons and projects, community service opportunities, and field trips. We seek to provide an environment of social and spiritual edification. So I just want everyone to know that we function in person as well. And so that's where the field trips come in for the most part. But we also have some creative ideas behind the field trips. And I just saw our sister Shula hop in, and she had some creative ideas around that where we might be able to incorporate some sort of opportunities along those lines virtually as well. And we also have community service opportunities, and there's different opportunities even amongst the women and the families that are here to get community service through other organizations that other families are coordinating or leading out who are part of the co-op. So it's a network is really what I'm trying to say, that we are seeking to provide a network. So our vision, our goal is to collectively build up our next generation to be upright, powerful, and faith-filled leaders after Yah's own heart. And we've been an organization since 2017, and it's under right now it's under our ministry, Direct Akkad in Pittsburgh. So the name is Shanan, which looks like Shannon, I know. I thought about that so many times, but I didn't want to put an H in there. I wanted to keep it, as close to the transliteration as possible. Shanan means to teach diligently, and it comes from Deuteronomy 6, verse 7, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children the commandments, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So that is what we're doing. We're diligently teaching our children. Okay, so the program scope for this co-op is that we are primarily academic. We are working from a biblical worldview, but this is not a like a Bible study type of a co-op. Africa, stop being in the background. This is not a Bible study co-op. We do provide those services as well. We have and this is going to be confusing because it's the same name, Shanan Hebrew Youth Ministry, that has curriculum and Bible materials that are free on our website, that you could use for your children. We also have virtual opportunities for Bible study that are frequently offered through Sister Ashara and Ebony. We also have like feast day activities, like, sometimes we'll have like craft times that we'll do virtually, sing along times, different types of Bible learning ministry work. Here's the thing, we aren't coming together in order for us to come together to really teach biblical, like actual Bible doctrine type things. We have to have agreement with each other. And so there has to be a greater agreement for that type of a communication. And so because, hold on, let me tell Africa to stop. Africa, stop talking in the background, please. Because we don't have that, we're going to basically say that if you're interested in that type of a relationship with us, we have those resources available, and you are more than welcome to join us in any capacity, whether it's virtual or in person. However, for this project, the Homeschool Co-op, we are focusing on teaching our children. Hold on a second. I just told her to go upstairs. She's sitting across the table from me doing her schoolwork, echoing me. But thank you for going upstairs. This program isn't designed to replace Bible learning that should be taking place at home or in your local faith community. So we primarily deal with academic subjects, like math, science, reading, writing, that type of thing. Creative subjects like art, music, yarn work, cooking, adulting skills, which includes cooking too. There's a lot of overlap there. Maybe we could get some sewing in there. Financial literacy, health. We've had our resident nurse, Shula, bring a CPR class in last year. We have fun classes like skateboarding, and all of these things come from a biblical worldview perspective. So, for example, it doesn't necessarily mean that like we're not going to talk about the Bible. I really loved Topha's rainbow science experiment, in which she went into talking about Noah's Ark and the rainbow. And we've had different science readings, and I'm always going to bring out the beauty of the Most High's creation, and we're going to infuse these types of things. When we talked about financial literacy, Mr. Hamani talked about stewardship and taking it all the way back to Genesis. So we're not it's all from a biblical worldview, but it's not like today we're going to talk about soteriology with the teens, or we're going to talk about the book of Revelation, or we're going to talk about the fulfillment of these different prophecies or something like that. All of those things would be outside of the scope of our program. So I hope I'm saying a lot of words because I really want to make it clear, because I know that some families are looking for like a really strictly Bible co-op. And if you're looking for that, this isn't going to be a good fit for you. But if you're looking for something where it's a safe space for your children to learn these skills and topics and things from a biblical worldview, this is the co-op for your family. So I just want to make that clear. That where our biblical focus comes in is our character quality development. And this is a very major part of our co-op. This year we piloted it last year, and so we kind of was soft on it, but this year we really want to see every child who's 6 and older do a character quality presentation. So we really want to have that be at the forefront, and we're reserving the last week of our co-op specifically for that. And I see you, Hannah, and the answer is yes to your question on the side. Okay, so our program is faith-oriented, it's the Holy Spirit oriented. Any family that believes in the Messiah and believes in living out the Bible, as their lifestyle, are welcome to come. And so that's where, when I say diversity, I'm not saying the crazy stuff that's happening in the world right now, but I'm saying that if we're able to come together and we believe in the Messiah, we believe in living out this Bible as our lifestyle, and we want to create this safe space for our children to come and learn, you don't have to be you don't have to be a homeschooler. Your children could be cyber schooled, they could go to brick and mortar school. You are welcome to join our co-op. And I've spent a lot of time on this slide. This is one of the most important slides, because I think that everything else you can figure out later on. But if you want to know if this co-op is for you or not, this is pretty much where the rubber hits the road. So I want to make sure, before I go on, if anyone has any questions specifically to this, and if there's anyone who was present last year who wants to speak to this, you can, I guess, raise your hand and go ahead. See if I can see some raised hands. I don't know. Do we have any questions to my co-hosts?
I did want to add to what you mentioned, or just speak from someone that experienced the co-op last year. Yeah, I did not feel as if the co-op definitely replaced any type of Bible learning for my children. Like I still very much did what we usually do in regards to what we teach from within our family. I also wanted to add that the character quality presentations, that is another opportunity for your children to use character traits such as honesty, trustworthiness, things like that. I'm sorry if my children are loud. I try to find a quiet spot, but that's a good opportunity for them to, for you and your child to dive more into the scriptures if you want to, one-on-one, and then they can kind of showcase, what they've, come across, like how honesty, they can use it in their life and where they found it in the Bible. But once again, it wasn't really a teaching on it. It was more. So you guys, now I'm like Tirsa. Now I'm telling them to get out the way. You guys, go.
Yeah.
But I was just echoing her point that I also got to experience that, firsthand, that it was not replacing the Bible whatsoever. And I just love the different add-ins that the teachers would bring. My sister too, she taught an essay writing class last time, and she found opportunities to capitalize on certain biblical principles. And it really just helped to make their teaching holistic, because it's what they're learning at home and how it's practical for everyday life. So I appreciated that.
Yes. Okay. And I see that Cicely has her hand raised. Are you able to unmute yourself?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I just wanted to add on as well. My children really enjoyed going to every class, and it was very structured in a way, like, um, you get to pick their classes that you want to be a part of. So, he chose what classes he wanted, and he just enjoyed going to each one each week. And I wanted to add something else, and I lost it. Sorry. If it comes back, I'll add on. But yeah, I really love that there's something for the kids to really choose what they want, and also something for the adults as well. My favorite was going to the CPR class last year. I learned so much. Um, and I wish I can be a part of the skateboarding. The skateboarding, that would be really cool. But and I think there was also one that you did Hebrew, a little bit of Hebrew. So that's another aspect where, it's not replacing the Bible, but still it's an addition to, and I think it's really neat.
Yeah, and I mean we're not trying to not do the Bible. The Bible is part of our lives. Like if you talk to any of us for like 5 minutes, you should hear about the Father, okay? But it's just the point. What are we what's our program? You know what I mean? And what's our program? And um we're carefully crafting this because we want to create this space where it's not just people who are in our congregation. um we're able to expand out from from our home, and our children are able to learn of other children, are able to make friends, and they're able to kind of just develop relationships with other people. And if we don't have to agree on every single thing, but if we're able to believe in a Messiah, and we're able to believe in the scriptures and the Bible as our way of life, um, we were able to kind of get along well enough to be part of this co-op. And the character quality presentation Bible, we talk to the kids about the kids have to have a Bible verse for that. And a lot of the children, they when they do their presentation, they do it on a Bible character. So we want to incorporate the scriptures, but we're just making it clear that if you're looking for a Bible study for your children, you can, if you want to talk to us about that, we have that available. But this just isn't that. This program isn't that. Okay.
Oh, I remember, Tirsa. Sorry,
Okay,
because I'm
good.
just piggyback what you're saying. That's
Good.
exactly what I was gonna say. Oh my goodness, all praises to the Most High. It's like you put it in your brain. It's like that's it. The relationships that you're able to have the children, because a lot of my son is around children who don't have the same beliefs, and it's really hard for him when especially when these holidays are coming up and things like that, and telling him we do things differently. But being able to have a family here online virtually for 8 weeks and throughout the year, we do it twice throughout the year, is such a great memory for him. And to know that he isn't by himself, he's like, there's other people out there that, believe in what he believes in. So that was what I wanted to say, the relationship building.
Okay. I just want to make sure I open it up to anyone else who wants to say anything before we move on. Okay, someone said they had to go. Okay, shalom. Okay, yep, thanks for coming. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Just I'm going to let me see what time it is. It's 8:30. Okay. So we have class expectations. We expect our teachers, there's no reason to read all this, but we expect our teachers to provide quality assignments to the students, to be caring and patient, to be on time for class. So we have expectations. Our classes should be on time and on time when possible. We've had some technical things that happened, but for the most part, this has been something that we were able to I think this was a win for us last year. When we have cancellations, we get that word out as soon as possible. And in the same case for delays. And for our families, we expect that, you know, if a parent signs a student up for a class, then the student should be present. Um, and if there's an absence, that the parent will let us know, or let the teachers, I should say, know in advance if possible. And you know, sometimes there's emergency situations, so if they missed, then just follow up with the teacher and just say, hey, yeah, you know, we had this situation come up. But being responsive and having that flow of communication is something that is very, very important. um, you know, we request and would like for the younger children, you know, the children today are really gifted with the computer and technology and tablets and phones. So, you know, this again might just be for supporting them, like in a virtual setting, something they might not be used to, but like a parent or an older sibling or a grandparent to assist younger students would be great, because this is a virtual platform. And one of the things, we've never had any issues with our children are always so wonderful. We never had any issues with them. But if there is any sort of behavior that would need to be corrected, our teachers, that is not our role. We would go to the parent, and the parent would have to work with their own children to resolve the problem, if that was to ever happen. We've been doing this since 2017. We have never had any issues at all with any sort of behavior. We do have a camera dress policy because we literally, like, as homeschoolers, you know, we're a homeschool family, so I'm saying as homeschoolers, but you know, not everyone here might be a homeschooler, but um pretty much we could roll out of our bed and do schoolwork or get on the computer. So pajamas are fine, but we do require that everyone in the camera is fully clothed. You know, so just and for boys, um more than just like a sleeveless white undershirt, like they should have like a shirt on, and some sort of bottom. And so that's something that um we require for anyone who turns their camera on. And we do ask for the kids to turn their camera on, because that's how we can know that we're engaging the children. um but if you know, you have a situation where you can't really, for whatever reason, control that situation, then the way to remedy that is to turn the camera off. So you know, we just want to make that also clear, that we do value modesty, and you know, this is just part of that, going around that whole policy. um we also understand that sometimes things, you know, curriculum doesn't work out, or life happens, you get busy, you might have a baby, I don't know. We have big families. It might just become a little bit too much for you. Let's just say you might want to withdraw from a class, or cut your schedule down with your children some. That's fine. We just need to keep all lines of communication open, because this is virtual. So you know, if it's something that's in person and someone doesn't come for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you know, we could just catch up with them, if necessary, even drive over to their house and make sure they're okay. But if we're in different locations, it's really hard for us to do that. So we just request, like, just keeping the lines of communication open. We're able to accept that you might want to withdraw from a class, or we're able to accept that you might want to disenroll for whatever reason. That's why I'm putting here, whatever reason. We just need to know if that was to happen. And so we this is something we also never had a problem with. Most of our parents like to keep all lines of communication open. But because this is open house, I just want to make sure that everyone knows, you know, when you sign up, you're signed up until you tell us you're not signed up anymore. And so that's just what I want to make clear. Um, so what are our weeks looking like this year? Um, Anyone who knows, the point of how we do this is to try to put this in the winter corridor, where the children might be in the house more. because in the fall, the spring, the summer, the fall, we love to see our children outdoors, exploring, hiking, enjoying their life. Um, and so, these are the cold months. And so this might be a time where you're at home more, where you're able to be on your computer more. And so that's why we're in this corridor, and we're going to try to keep this corridor going as long as we do the virtual portion of the co-op. So we will be starting January 14th, and we'll have 7 weeks of class co-op, and then our last week we're going to reserve for character quality presentations. I don't know if anyone has any questions about that yet, but those are our weeks. And we're going to have a schedule this year, for we did the exit surveys and everything like that. Last year, our co-op covered 4 days, and there were classes in the morning, classes in the evening, and trying to coordinate your day around that might have been a little bit difficult. So we're consolidating hours this year. So we're going to be open for 3 days a week. And Sundays, 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I didn't put the p.m. in here. Mondays, 3 to 6. So we'll have a Monday evening, Sunday evening, and then Thursdays will be our morning going into early afternoon. So this is our plan so far. As we work with our teachers and our parents, we will hopefully be able to fit within these corridors. Again, the reason is to try to keep things consolidated so you can really build your family schedule around these times. And it's not like you have a morning class here, evening class there. This day you got 2 classes here and 1 class there. It's all kind of consolidated together. Does anyone have any questions about this? Because this is a change from last year.
Yeah, I have a question. It's Talfa.
Yep.
I remember last year there were some classes I think that overlapped. If there's too many classes that don't fit within these time periods, can they be expanded to accommodate for those classes and like parent availability?
Yeah, so I'll say this, that we were talking about exploring breakout rooms this year. If we had any, like we had 2 parents who said I could do Thursdays at 10 o'clock. And we would just have like one breakout room be the one class and the other breakout room be the other class. The final schedule will be based off of our once we get all the class ideas come through and we're working with the parents who are teaching, that'll be the final schedule. But these are kind of the hour corridors that we're kind of hoping to stay within, as kind of like our model. And we are going to try to work with the parents who are willing to teach and see if we can fit within this model and explore options, if we have to move outside of that. But trying to kind of keep it within reason, so that we don't have that same type of feedback that we had last year. We're trying to move in directions that work best for the family. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't know if that answers your question. Okay.
I also wanted to add, I know, I'm not sure if you have a slide for the coordination that we were looking for, like the pack that we were looking for. Do you have that?
Yeah, we'll talk about that like afterwards, I think.
Okay. I just, yeah, because I think once we touch on that portion, we can start to delegate more things to
Yes.
various parents too. So if we do want to expand our hours and open it back up to like a Sunday to Thursday thing, we would definitely need more hands-on support with like technical things, just making sure if someone can't get into the Zoom, it's not just solely on Tirta, it's not just solely on me. Like if we didn't sign up for that class, like we didn't sign up for that class because of our availability. but there may be some issues with people getting into the room, and we just want to make sure everything's running smoothly. So we do look forward to reaching out and giving moms, or not moms, just parents who are involved in the co-op more positions to assist with expanding our hours.
Yes.
But we are open to, revisiting that and expanding it out, but there just have to be certain protocol and permitting parameters in place.
Yes, because one of the things that we don't want to happen is for the children to be in a waiting room and they can't get into the room. We're trying to fix some of the things that we didn't do all the way right last year. We're trying to fix those things. It's continual improvement. Sometimes when you are trying to improve, you gotta like consolidate as well. So this was just one of the ways that we came up with to try to have more oversight over, like, kids getting into their classrooms, schedules, family schedules, different things like that. So like Ebony said, join our parent advisory committee, and you'll definitely have more of a voice and leadership role within the co-op. We want that this year. Let's just talk about class frequency. Now this is a big one for anyone who's new. Like, this slide probably looks crazy to you, right? We have different frequencies of classes. We have some classes that are only offered one time. We had last year, Ebony had a bi-weekly class, so she had a class that for younger children. Ebony, you want to talk about that?
I did not have a bi-weekly class.
It wasn't twice a week.
No,
Oh, twice
it was
weekly.
twice a week.
Twice weekly.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I had classes twice a week. I'm about to say, I
No,
was
this is
working.
confusing me, right? Oh my goodness.
No, but
Okay.
we did have bi-weekly classes, but
Okay.
yeah, no, mine was twice a week. Yeah, I taught
Okay.
twice.
I had the bi-weekly class.
Okay.
I couldn't do every week. It was too overwhelming.
Okay, Hannah, go ahead and talk about bi-weekly, why you chose to teach a bi-weekly class, and if that worked out for you.
I chose to do bi-weekly because I felt like with everything that would go into the class, that it would have been way too much to do every week. And so it worked out in some ways, and then in some ways it didn't, because there were some kids that were like, oh, I didn't realize it was this week, I thought it was last week, or they forgot about it, and so that was hard. But I think that for the ones that came, they got value out of doing it, and I would have been stretched way too thin if I had have done it every week. And it would have started to get pretty bad, I think. So I think it was the best thing that for me. And I think if someone wants to do a bi-weekly class, just be sure to send out reminders, leading up to it. And hopefully we can use the website a little more, and be able to like communicate during the off week. I wanted to do that. I would post some things, but I think it was so new that we just all kind of weren't sure what we were doing yet. But hopefully this year we can use it a little more and keep communicating, and then that'll help foster some of that connectedness and remembering for bi-weekly classes.
Okay, that's great. And so yeah, we have the bi-weekly option, and again, we have like kind of an odd, because we have it's 7 weeks, and then the last week is the character quality presentations. So when we're saying bi-weekly, it might be 2 or 3 classes depending on, well, I think that's 3 classes. Look, I was a math major. I should be able to add and subtract and divide and know what bi-weekly and twice weekly are, but okay. We also have weekly classes, which would mean if you're teaching a class, that would mean you're signing up to teach for 7 classes, or you're signing your child up to take 7 classes. And then Ebony, you could go ahead and talk about the twice weekly option.
Yes, for that class, I was teaching in language arts class, and there was a lot of material that I wanted to cover. So I decided to do twice a week because I wanted to get as much of that material completed, and I had the availability. So that's what I went with, and it worked out well. I I will say there was a time when I had a dentist appointment and I had to cancel class, and children were still like, "I'm upset that you're not going to be here." So if you do decide to do twice a week, it's not too much for the children. Maybe for the parents, it might become overbearing, but for them, if you're keeping it engaging and fun, they look forward to the class no matter what the frequency is, even if it's twice a week.
They were upset about that one class that they missed. They had like 16 classes and they was upset about that one class. That was really funny. We also encourage shorter class times for younger children. So for the most part, we're looking at like 45-minute long sessions, 45-minute long classes. Once you start getting over 45 minutes with a virtual class, unless it's like a science experiment and like you're blowing things up or you're having, or another class that might be for go in for like a longer time might be a cooking class or our crocheting classes if the students are kind of having a hard time with the knots, might go out to like an hour, and that's like an engaging, like hands-on type of an experience. But for just our normal I don't want to use the word mundane classes, like a 45-minute time period is like kind of a sweet spot. But for younger children, we offer even shorter class times than that. So we had a science morning, it was in the morning at that time, a science story time, and that class was only about 20 minutes long. So whenever you state if you are going to submit a class a suggestion, a course suggestion, you can state what time period you think your class would be. So we do have a timeline here.
Jessica, could I add something
Okay.
just really quickly?
Yep, go ahead. Mhm.
And we've had classes where we did put age ranges on it, and there were some like age expectations, but there was also the disclaimer like parent supported, right? Like this is for a younger class, but it needs, a grown up or like an older team to assist them through the process. So just kind of use your discretion on, if you want to do more complex things, like science experiments, arts, having multiple materials and things like that. Just state like, if this is for this age range, but they might need a grown up to assist them through transitioning through the class.
Yeah, I remember Hannah's watercolor class and transferring an image from one thing like to the watercolor paper. Parental assistance was needed for that. And she made sure that the parents knew, to be on. And I think also Tolfa's science experiment class really lent to having either an older sibling or a parent there. So, those are things that you should let the parents know if that is something that's required or something that's going to help their child. So we want to make sure the children are supported. We want to limit frustration on the part of our children as much as possible. If we were all in a classroom setting, the parent could just jump in and help the teacher could jump in and help the children. But when we're in a virtual setting and we are working with younger children, sometimes it's harder to explain to them how to solve problems as they might come across them. All right, so let's just talk about our timeline. December 6th is when our course syllabus and suggestions are due. And we will have a Google form for this. And I'll also talk about some of the things that you will be asked if you have a course syllabus or suggestion. We will be opening for registration for classes on December 17th. And this will also be a time that the teachers could start setting up their virtual classrooms. We will be using the Homeschool Life platform again. And we will be using Zoom for our classes. December 30th, December 31st is when we're going to have our minimum student registration deadline. And that'll be the end of our regular registration. So we are looking forward to having a push to get everyone signed up for classes by December 31st. Last year, I think we only had to drop maybe 1 or 2 classes because we didn't have a minimum number of students registered for the class. And so then we'll have the first week of January for the teachers and the parents to set up their virtual classrooms, communicate with the families about any materials that they'll need for the co-op. And on the 7th, we will have a Zoom orientation for registered families. So this is an open house. Anyone can come to this, anyone can learn about it. But the orientation will be like, okay, this is our Zoom ID that we're going to use. And, we may have the teachers who are teaching the classes come on and talk, and, we'll have more engagement, I would say. And I think that we're going to keep it from 8 to 9:30. I hate that I have this here wrong. I'll change it in the YouTube video. It's going to be 8 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, just in case we have someone who's in Central Time Zone, that we're working in a time that they could get on. And again, we'll have our nominal $15 overhead fee due at that time as well. So again, this is $15 a family. It's essentially to pay for the platform. It's that's really where that money is going. January 14th is our first day of classes. The following week will be our late registration, our final registration date. And we should be smooth sailing all the way till the last week of March for our character quality presentations. Yep, Homeschool Life is our platform. And this is like the best software, the best website that we could find to basically I would even say it's essentially like having a school, a virtual school, basically, because you could download, upload assignments. You could put your resources. Teachers could put their resources out there. There's forums. You could discuss things with your teachers and the rest of the co-op. Announcements. Everything is on there, and we will be having classes over the Zoom platform. So character quality presentations, I don't want to talk about this too much. We are looking at all children 6 and older doing them, 5 and under at the discretion of the parents. We are going to continue inviting family and friends to your children's character quality presentation. And this, anyone who wants to know, like, what are you talking about, character quality presentations? Again, this is a resource that we got from Hannah, just putting her out there. Truthfulness versus deception, alertness versus unawareness. You can see that there's definitions here, and there's also scripture verses as well. So this is just a slide that has a bunch of options that you could choose from. But we also have a resource that is kind of like a packet that our sister Ashara put together. And so the character quality project is normally on looking at the character quality presentation and relating that to an animal or a person who demonstrates that character quality. So we have within the packet, there are animal cards that relate back to each of those character qualities. And as far as a person, it could be a Bible character, it could be a family member. Like we had one child last year talk about his mother. It could be community members or historical figures, etc. We also have older kids do this as well. And there is a wealth of creativity that goes into this. Presentations can be done as a family project or a group project. So it doesn't have to be like one individual child working on it. It could be a family project. And again, down here, Shora Nelson, she developed a free all-in-one resource for children, which is available on our Homeschool Life page. So what do these presentations look like? We had a lot of pre-recorded presentations last year that were really, really good. Canva presentations, it could be a poster board, it could be a slideshow, just like what I'm doing here. It could be like a skit even. Um, there were so many creative presentations last year. I believe that one of Hannah's children made a costume for herself with her skills. So there are so many ways to and creative ways to explore this, and we want to see it all. Okay, we want to see it all. Comic books, a song. One of Ebony's children read a book one time, a short children's book about their character quality presentation, their character quality. I keep saying presentation at the end because I'm looking at the word presentation. And so we look at it being about 3 to 5 minutes long. But again, that's also very flexible. I'm just putting that out there in case anyone is like, I need to know how long this needs to be. But as long as it's getting the point across, as long as the child understands that character quality, and as long as they're conveying it to the other children in that same space, that's really what we're looking for. And so if you have,
can I add something really quickly about the character quality? So last year, we had people sign up. We had set times, like I think it was twice a week during a certain time frame. We had people sign up on when they would like to do the character quality throughout the 8 weeks. So this year, like she showed the schedule, just to kind of reiterate, the last week will be character quality presentations. And those times will be during, so you will be doing your character quality presentations during one of your classes that you signed up for. So let's just say we have a math class on Monday at 3 o'clock. I think that's the time. I'm making it up. I hope that Mondays was at 3. At 3 o'clock on a Monday, right? That group of children in that class will be doing their character quality presentations for that class. Okay. And if you're in multiple classes, obviously you can use it up to your discretion, which class you would like to present in. But that, yeah, that was just kind of another way for us to kind of control the times and, you know, our time commitment to, you know, being available to everyone. So I'm hoping that, I hope that works out a lot easier for us, but I just wanted to explain or elaborate on when we planned on doing those presentations.
Yeah, because if you set apart your time and you said you were going to be doing the class at this time, you are basically saying you're available at that time. But then if we say, oh, we have these character quality presentations, can you sign up on this day and this time? Well, you didn't commit your time to that. You know what I mean? And so this is just helping to, like, we're trying to come up with ways to help our families to make it happen, right? Because I know I need help, right? So we're trying to do things better for everyone. So class suggestions, if you're interested in teaching a class, we're going to have a Google form that you're going to fill out. And we are going to say that all the course suggestions have to line up with our co-op program guidelines in order to be accepted. And so, you know, we are looking for classes. We need classes. We need parents to sign up. We are going to ask that adults who teach submit their state specific child, you know, background checks to us by December 31st. But we're saying that teens who are, you know, teens and the families who are teaching classes, we're not going to require that. And that's because we want to make sure that, especially as we expand and grow, that we know the parents who are helping teach the classes, you know. let's see, is that it? That's all that I have on this presentation. If you are interested in teaching a class, and you're on this call, if you was part of the co-op last year, you're going to get an email anyway, so don't worry about it. Whenever we have the form, you'll get it. But if you are not, if you are new, you can either send an email to Shanan Homeschool Co-op at gmail.com. You can put your email in the chat right now and we'll get back to you. Or you could just reach out to somebody, whoever told you about this. Reach out to them and then they'll reach out to us and then we'll get back to you. Okay. All right. That's the main thing there. Just get in touch with us, because the deadline is going to be the 6th to get all of the suggestions to us. Okay. With that being said, I want to we'll segue into returning parents and our parent help me out, Ebony, advisory committee or PAC. Okay. I'm starting to get a little bit tired now. My bedtime is coming up. I told y'all 9:30 I'm going to be asleep, okay? But does anyone have any questions about any of those things that we talked about? And if you don't have a question now, you can have one later, but
Cicely, your hand's raised. I wasn't sure if it was raised from before. You didn't just put it down. She's probably getting her little ones ready for bed.
Yeah.
She's a teacher, getting ready for school. Yeah, she teaches
about that time. Did you want to say anything before we talked about the PAC or?
No, I didn't have anything at this moment.
All right. So yeah, we want to open up the leadership of the co-op to more parents. And so this is going to be offered to our returning parents because you've experienced the co-op last year. So our new parents come in, experience it, come up with suggestions and ideas, let us know as we go what your suggestions and ideas are. When we send out the exit survey, tell us what you liked about the co-op and tell us what you didn't like about the co-op. That's why we're making some of the changes that we're making is based off of the feedback that we got from parents last year. So we welcome all suggestions coming through to us from our parents. But for our returning parents, we want to at least give our returning parents the ability to have more of a role in the co-op. And so this year we'll have coordinator positions. And Ebony, do you want to talk about that at all? Putting you on the spot. She's the one, I'm barely able to say what the name of this thing is. It's really because she's the vice president of one of those things. And so I'm just trying to say something that makes sense. I don't know.
Yes. So one of the positions that we were looking for, one of them would be a coordinator, so like a Zoom coordinator, where they would be in the room, especially if there's a double booking of classes. That's the biggest example that we thought about was breakout rooms, and that person holding the Zoom, open and directing children and parents and families to their designated room, and just helping people, what's the word I'm looking for? Troubleshoot. I can't find the login. Can you send me the Zoom link again? I forgot what the Zoom link or the ID or the password was. I'm having trouble, what time, something where you're coordinating in that time, in that space. So just to kind of spread out the responsibilities of helping the co-op run. I'm not too sure how many people have ever done in-person co-ops, but it's very much parent-led, very much all hands on deck in regards of helping things to run smoothly and to make sure nothing is getting missed and going under radar. We want everyone to have a great experience. And with that coordinating position, I just think it would just help things flow in the Zoom, especially if we have, since we have these concise times, we're almost certain that we're going to have to use the breakout room feature, and that would be very helpful.
And also, when we are looking at setting the co-op up next year, we'll invite our coordinators to be part of the setup. It's we want to be a parent led co-op. That's our goal, and we want to have at least some of our parents who are interested to have more of a voice, in the co-op. And so this is how we're going to do that. Give more voice to those who want it. You might say, I don't want that. Well, okay.
And I wanted to mention the commitment level too, because sometimes when I'm looking, like someone's asking me to do something, like, well, how much time I got to commit to this thing, because I already got my hands full. For me, I mean, you can add on to this. What I'm looking for, like, the commitment level will definitely be during the co-op. And I would say, once a week, meeting on Zoom, maybe like a month prior to the co-op starting, just to make sure, everything is set up. We have, and we already have bulk of the work done. But just meeting to say, okay, this is, the plans for this year. These are the dates for this year. This is the date for the open house. And, is this a good time for you to meet so that we can, welcome all the parents together as a united front kind of thing. So most of the commitment level will be during the co-op. And I would say 4 weeks prior to the co-op starting, and with like an hour a week and being a part of a chat group, a text thread, and just getting updates.
Yeah, and also with that, if we can, we didn't put a deadline on the request of telling us that you're interested. We have so many deadlines. I feel so bad putting any more deadlines out there. But one of the things we need support with is administrative duties. If not just to do some what's the word, editing work, so I would want, if a parent, when we get our parents who are interested, I'll definitely put it out there that we are looking for someone to help coordinate within the admin side too. So you would get an administrator login for the Homeschool Life site. You'll be able to go into the back end and be able to help set up classrooms, and help to administrate the actual Homeschool Life platform. And it won't just be like you're the only one doing it. Like I'm doing it now. Ebony's kind of doing it in theory. But we'll at least have some more support on that, and that's something that we really need. Okay.
Hey, that Google form, y'all about to put those class suggestions on? Okay, that Google form you put in your class that you're creating. I did that. So I'm helping a little bit.
She's helping a lot.
No.
I just know that that's going to be a big project of getting all the classrooms put out there. And even if I do it, I want someone to come behind and just make sure I did it right, and I'm not just figuring it out like a couple weeks in that I totally goofed. If you know anything that I've done, sometimes I get dates wrong and times wrong, and I get emails that come back to me and said, "Did you mean to say this time?" And no, I did not mean to say that time. Okay, great. I see that. We have a taker. Antoinette. Okay, okay. We got a taker. Okay. All right. I don't want to hold anyone up any longer. So I will open it up for final questions. Our new families, definitely want to hear from you if you have any questions while we're on live. Um, hey Eliana, glad to see you here. Hope to see your children this year.
We're really looking forward to it. You know, Layla was like, I'm so excited to see everyone. Shalom, everybody.
Hello.
Shalom, when I think of children of the co-op, there's like a handful of them that I think of. And your children are definitely one of them, like a set. I put your family in the set. They were such a pleasure to have. And they were always excited for class. And that's what makes the co-op just so much fun. You know, their excitement and willingness to learn. So thank you for coming back. And I'm glad to hear that they're excited to start back up.
Yeah, and Eliana, I think something that
Hallelujah.
you like is we're consolidating the times as much as we can. So like last year, your children might have had a class in the morning here and then in the afternoon. Hopefully our class schedules will be kind of more consolidated so that like you'll have more of a knowledge of when your children are going to be in class. Okay.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Yep. All right. So anyone want any final questions?
Anything you liked, anything you didn't like, and it's okay. You can let us know. Anything that has you on the fence, maybe we can clear
Yeah.
something up.
I like the idea of having all the character qualities presentations at the end. However, what about the classes that are bi-weekly or if it doesn't fall on that week? Are the ones that are once every so often?
Ooh, good question. I'll still say it'll just be during those times. So we would love, I mean, I guess we're not using a hard R on required. It's not a hard R, but we were really hoping, they're just such a beautiful way to expand your knowledge of self and, being able to see what good quality is in other people and animals. So it's like we would love for people to do it. And if there isn't, if that class doesn't fall on that last week, it will definitely have to be in one of those classes. Like it will have to be in one of those slots that you will have to do it.
Yeah, or submit a video. That would also be another. But that's good. You always think about the the outlier situations. We need you on that team. And as you were saying that, we do have families who only sign up for character quality presentations. If that's all a family wants to do, they don't want to do any other classes in a co-op, that's fine. But you will be within one of those class times on the last week. But we hope to have more engagement, more involvement, but the character quality presentation is huge to us. And so it's huge enough that if that's the only commitment that a family can make to the co-op, they're welcome to be part of the co-op. So, all right, it's 9:15. I don't want to hold anyone up. I need to go to bed. I don't, you know what? I don't want to hold myself up. That's really what it is. I'm talking about y'all. I'm ready to go to sleep. But I appreciate everyone getting on. So no one else has anything else to say. I'm going to end the meeting. So it's really quiet.
Shalom, everyone. I look
Good
forward to the
night.
first day.
Thanks, Tirza.
Me too.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all bless everyone. Shalom.
God bless.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Bless.